Hi, my name is Margaret Daly. I'm a graduating student in the Fine Art Painting Department in NCAD. In 2019, I took a year out to study at the RHA and was one of the first 3 students who graduated from their accredited courses there. The transience of memory and how we edit it over time was the origin of my research this year. The interplay with feelings and sensory experiences selectively influences our memories, often creating surreal elements. As the pandemic threatened our survival as a species, hospital staff and personal protective equipment triggered a memory of my father, who was a skilled beekeeper. Pollinating insects, including bees, are also fighting for their survival because of our disregard for the environment. This prompted both figurative and abstract work as I investigated the foraging conditions of these pollinators, essential for human food production. Topographical maps, images of weather systems, research into their visual spectrum and flight communication guided my painting process, suggesting materials from ink and acrylics to oils in response to the subject. An awareness of climate change and ecological collapse is where my current work is placed. I would like to talk about a number of my paintings in greater detail. The high chroma acrylic ground in this painting was inspired by British artist Justin Mortimer, whose monumental work is often around tragic events. Continuing with oils, I referenced how we have learned to subdue bees in order to harvest their honey. Smoke is used to trick them into thinking that there's a fire nearby. They fill themselves with honey and are unable to bend and sting the beekeeper. I incorporated the hexagon of the honeycomb in the smoke. It is one of the most efficient shapes found in nature, from the carbon atom to the basalt columns of the Giant's Causeway. The title of this painting is Managing. Encroaching is the title of this second work. Hints of the red colour of bricks used in buildings seen here in the background, as well as the surveyor's poles, and this all points to the reduction of habitat for the bees by the growth of our cities, towns and villages. This painting, called Destruction, was in response to the recent wildfires in Killarney Park. Wild bees make their homes in the hollow trunks of trees and rock piles. Managed hives are often brought to the hills and forests to benefit from tree and heather pollen. In the lower half of this painting, you'll see that we contribute to the carbon dioxide of the atmosphere and so to climate change from the comfort of our own homes sitting in front of a fire. My research brought me to look at satellite images and how foraging is affected by terrain, weather patterns and chemical insecticides. This suggested more abstract work, and I used acrylic ink and paint to achieve the results I was looking for, adding oil paint at the final stages. You can see here the contour lines of maps, the isobars of weather systems, the molecular structures suggesting insecticides. I found the flight communication of bees to the rest of the swarm, indicating pollen-rich areas, to be most interesting, and I included flight patterns and pollen dots in this work. In this series of paintings, I limited my palette to the spectrum of colours seen by bees. I found it fascinating that they see very differently from ourselves, as their vision extends to the UV spectrum and they cannot see red at all. In this painting, called Bee Sight, I used oil on prepared paper. I concentrated on the blues, greens and violet and white, which dominate their sight spectrum. It's interesting too that after corrective cataract surgery late in his life, Claude Monet used these colours predominantly, as he too could see into the UV range. I hope to create more work with this limited palette in the future. I would like to be considered for this award because it would be a great support to getting a studio space and to help pay for courses and equipment in photography, which I intend to do to enhance my work and to bring it to another level. Thank you.